broadly speaking, though, when you look at the run for the presidency right now, you look at the deep bench of Republican contenders, and there's a lot of criticism of the Republican Party for not being able to get their act together, not being able to channel their message and target the American voter. Are Republicans going to be able to do that? Are they going to be able to get it this time? Are they going to be able to get it together?
Well, I think Republicans are maybe being, because there's so many of us, there's a lot of messages out there. But I'm going to tell you something. I think there's a real readiness, openness, eagerness to accept a Republican message if the Republican message includes something for working class Americans. Where we have failed in the past is that we speak as if we're talking to the folks in the corporate boardroom. And we've not communicated and articulated our doctrine and our message that works for the guy who's sweating through his clothes, lifting heavy things every day.
Is that why Donald Trump is resonating so well?
He's resonating because he's speaking to a passion of people that are just angry. But when I'm talking to people who are out there, who are the working class, the people from whom I have come myself, this is I guess the essence of my own experience. I tell people, I grew up with a lot more in common with the people working in the kitchen than the people sitting at the head table. I had to learn how to sit at the head table. I didn't have to learn how to clean up the dishes.
Is that your campaign? I mean, I feel like whether it's Donald Trump or reaction to the Iran deal, the actual campaign, what you're running on, is getting lost. And that I say that for all of the GOP candidates.
It may be getting lost in the sort of the atmosphere of the media, but it's not getting lost out there when I go and talk to the town halls and the organizational events. And honestly, that's where the rubber meets the road. You don't win the presidency by just having a media presence. You have to win by organizing in early states. And while everybody is focused on who's getting the buzz and who has the most air in his or her balloon, quite frankly, when it comes down to it, I mean, I'll go back to 8 years ago when I was in the race then. It was all about President Rudy Giuliani. And I mean, Giuliani was the hottest ticket in town, and he led by double his next rival, which was at that point Mitt Romney, and then it was Fred Thompson, and then it was John McCain. And I was so far back that I needed binoculars to see the guys in the front. When it was over, it was McCain and me, and then Romney, and on down, and Rudy had dropped out in Florida.
Do you think that this Israel topic is your calling card to just show who you are? Because you're teaching history lessons. You're saying to Dagen, look, don't focus on the word, don't focus on the imagery. Let's remember our history.
I don't need a history lesson. I'm only expressing the upset.
I wasn't trying to insult you. I'm asking a very serious question.
I know my history quite well. Thank you.
But Dagen, the people who are
upset want to talk about themselves. We just saw that again. Like, what about the history of the country? Let's talk about leadership. Like, is that what you're going to try to do here?
Well, I think people want to know that a president of the United States will speak clearly and boldly when it comes to the issues of world events and national security, not just for Americans, but for people across the globe. And yeah, there are people upset, but Dagen, most of them, they're the reliable left who are upset at everything a Republican, everything a conservative says.
I mean, did you hear but it made, this is personal, we know each other, but when I heard that comment, I was like, what? That was my reaction. Come on, man.
But hear it in context. You heard what the news media said. I said, did you hear the full context of it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I think that's the opportunity. History, context, leadership. You have to have somebody move beyond where we're at.
I have another bone to pick with you about something completely different, but we can do that later.
This is going to be fun. We're going to have quite the fight today.
And you're not.
And I love Dagen.
Because you don't say.
Did you hear the comment by President Obama that he's going to have to hand over the keys to the White House? What was it, Sandra? Exactly what he said.
I want to make sure that I hand over the keys to the White House to the best possible, the right person.
So he's handing over the keys. And he said if he wanted, I mean, he would win again.
Why even go there? But the point is, it's not his house, it's the people's house. And when he leaves the keys on the table, I feel confident that any one of the Republicans who will be on that stage in Cleveland will take those keys and do a much better job of giving this country leadership, both economically as well as in security, as well as a focus on making sure that America is great again. I really believe that.
But are you the one to beat Hillary?
I'm the only one who's ever challenged the Clinton political machine and defeated it. People forget that in Arkansas, what I ran against in every election was the extraordinary Clinton political apparatus. Nobody else has done that. And not only did I run against it, but I successfully defeated it repeatedly and understand how it works and how brutal it can be. So
go get him, Governor.
I think that's exactly the right message.
Governor, good to have you on the program.